got a prediction video for the final coming tonight. So, been taking a break the last few days. Yes, I watched the bronze medal game today between Belgium and England. If you're wondering where my prediction was for that, I had it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Football Pharaoh at Soccer Pharaoh. My prediction for the third place game was, I'll just be honest with you, I thought England were going to do it. I thought England would take bronze, have them winning 2-1 because I thought they would take it more seriously than Belgium did. Gareth Southgate and the boys wanting to give the fans a little something. And I didn't take into account that Belgium would play with a pissed off attitude because they feel that they should have won the semi-final against France. We had, Thibaut Courtois and Eden Hazard, I think, making a couple of digs towards the French camp for the way that they played in that match. But, mostly it's raw feelings, sour grapes, because you go out in a World Cup, especially when you go out at a latter stage, it really hurts. So you say things sometimes that you don't mean, and I'm willing to give Hazard and Courtois the benefit of the doubt. But in this match, I thought England would win 2-1. And what's interesting is this is the lowest scoring third place match since at least 1982. We only had 2 goals in this game. Third place matches usually average about 4 goals. Usually some of the more exciting encounters, but I guess when England plays, you can't really consider it an exciting encounter. No offense. But I think in this game, Belgium put on an absolute clinic. They could have won this 3-4-0. By far and away, you could tell the gap in quality between the two sides on the pitch today. And Belgium, for the second time in the same World Cup, picked up a clean sheet victory over England. They beat them 1-0 in the group stages, and they beat them 2-0 today, but both teams fielding somewhat of an A team. Well, really, fully their A team. Give or take 1 or 2 players. And Roberto Martinez, I think he gets credit. This is a very talented crop of Belgian players, but I think Martinez gets credit for doing what Mark Wilmots could not do. And even then, Belgium is such an absurdly talented side that Mark Wilmots' Belgian team got to the quarterfinals, both in the World Cup 2014 and in the European Championship in 2016. But in this match, Belgium really dictated this game. And save for Eric Dyer's opportunity to draw England level around the 60th minute mark in the second half, England didn't really have very many clear opportunities to score. They were very much on the back foot of Belgium's will, so to speak. And it could have gotten ugly. It really could have gotten ugly. This was not a match that appeared to be between two teams that are on a similar level, which I think you can reasonably conclude that for England to get this far to the semifinals is an overachievement, really. They took advantage of the side of the bracket they were on, and they made it to the Final Four. They deserve it. They deserve it. You can only beat what's put in front of you. You can only beat what's put in front of you. But what is put in front of you should always be taken into context. Gareth Southgate. Personally, I like the guy. He's soft-spoken. He's humble in every press conference he's been in. He knows it's been a step-by-step process for England, not to underestimate anybody. And to his credit, I think he had this team psychologically well set up for a deep tournament run. He's good. He's a good motivator. And the world-renowned team psychologist that England employed, that Australian lady, I forgot her name, she got these players thinking positive and not really playing with the burden of previous England generations on their back. And this is the third most successful English national team in World Cup history. These boys right here, Kieran Trippier, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Harry Kane, Jordan Pickford, who I thought had one of the best standout performances for England for this tournament. The two players that really stood out for me, I mean, Harry Kane's a given, but for England's sake, the two players on their team that really stood up for me this whole tournament was Kieran Trippier and Jordan Pickford. Gareth Southgate is a good motivator. Not really a good tactician. Made some questionable substitutions in the semifinal against Croatia. I understand why he took Raheem Sterling off late on, because Sterling was kind of crap in that game. But he showed a little bit of his coaching inexperience, Mr. Southgate. But look, he's going to go down as an England World Cup fourth-placed semi-finalist manager. And that's, on paper at the end of the day, when you go on Wikipedia and you see 2018 World Cup England finishing, it's not going to say fourth place with an asterisk next to it, but they played Panama, Tunisia, Sweden along the way. No, it's going to say England fourth place finish, and that's in the history books. That's it. We can put things into context, but years and years from now, that's what people are going to remember. That this current crop of English players gave the country reason to hope again. For some people, overhype again, but, Belgium will still feel like they could have gone one step better in this tournament. They will feel like they could have won this tournament. You would think the winner between them and France in the semifinal should win this World Cup. Large stretches of the match against France, they were the better side. They were the more attacking-minded team. But at the end, did they deserve more than third place? I don't really think so. I think France did just about everything they could to squeak out the 1-0. And, France hasn't been very, save for the game against Argentina, the high-scoring 4-3. France haven't been very flashy in this tournament, but they've been effective, and they've played like a team that finds a way to win. And they deserve to be in the final. So Belgium, look, they go home with their best ever finish in a World Cup. That's more than what England can say. England won the World Cup in 1966, but Belgium's best ever finish before today was fourth place in 1986. So they went one step better today. A bronze medal, Belgium's best ever finish in a FIFA World Cup. So congratulations to Belgium. Outclassed England today in almost every conceivable way. But England, I don't think there's really much to malign or get upset about, because they got to the semifinals, even though they were afforded somewhat of an absolute Christmas gift of a path to there. But like I said, you beat what's put in front of you. And if people are going to hate on you for that, haters are going to hate. We would all be so fortunate as to have a path like that for our team to the semifinal. And it wasn't even that easy. It wasn't even that easy. You had Colombia, who without James was still decent, that pushed you to penalties. You impressively scored more than one goal against a very defensive, pragmatic Swedish team that won their group. So England beat two group winners in the round of 16 and the quarterfinals. I say that's impressive. Harry Kane is probably going to win the Golden Boot now. 6 goals. To be honest, goals are goals. Whether you score from open play or you score from a set piece. Having said that, I do think he's probably one of the more unconvincing Golden Boot winners of the last generation, because you have to put this into context. 6 goals, very nice. 3 of those 6 goals throughout the tournament came from penalties. 5 of those 6 came in the group stage against Panama, the team who finished in dead last in this tournament, and Tunisia. And then 1 goal, which was again a penalty, in the round of 16 against Colombia. It's not very often that you have a Golden Boot winner of a World Cup score his last goal before the quarterfinals. So after he scored the penalty against Colombia, 3 games, quarterfinals, semifinals, third place game, he doesn't score. So that's what I mean. Yes, technically, he deserves it. He got the goals, 6 goals. But you put it into context, it's not like what James Rodriguez did in 2014. It's not like what Thomas Müller did in 2010. It's not what Klose did in 2006. It's not what Ronaldo did in 2002. You look at the opponents on which he scored, how early in the tournament he scored, and then leveling off from there. I'm not taking anything away from him. I don't have anything against Harry Kane. Yeah. But look, people that hate on England, they still finish as 4th place in the World Cup. And you're never going to take that away from them. And while I think this is not it's not an England team that has a lot, that isn't spoiled for individual quality, but they were very well organized in this tournament. And they peaked against Sweden in the quarterfinals, a team that I had no inkling of an idea they would put more than 1 goal past. Just given the way Sweden were in this tournament. See, I'm rambling now. I'm rambling. Football Pharaoh is rambling, everybody. But, England-Croatia. I didn't give a reaction to that. Did England drop the ball? Yeah. They did lose the initiative in that game, especially going ahead through an absolute class Kieran Trippier free kick in the 3rd minute. Croatia showed a lot of grit. We thought that extra time would set in fatigue for Croatia heading into a 3rd consecutive match on extra time. And truth be told, Luka Modric was forced into making several passing mistakes. Mandzukic had to come off as a substitute because his legs had grown tired. Even Subasic looked like he had pulled a cramp in his right leg. Perisic was absolutely fucking gassed towards the dying stage of extra time. But they pulled it off. Against all odds, Croatia came back into the match. And they pulled it off. And for them to do what they did, it was actually England at that point who was playing for penalties right before Croatia took the lead. I don't know what it is, but Croatia, it's something that defies logic. These were guys that were so physically and mentally drained. They were essentially functioning on autopilot. You know, when you wake up in the morning after you didn't sleep very well, or you just trudge through the day, do whatever you got to do to get through, drink caffeine, exercise, whatever. These guys were on autopilot. you could actually see from the opening minutes up once the game started, Croatia looked tired. The way they were giving away the ball so easily in the middle of the park, and the way that England was winning the most of the challenges in midfield. So for Croatia to do what they did, and that amazing cross into the box from Vrsaljko that met the end of what seemed like a ninja kick from Perisic that proved to be the equalizer from Croatia. That was amazing. And then for them to go ahead and grab the winning goal in extra time. Wow. They shouldn't have. They should not have survived it. But I think also England, it's not a mentally strong English team. They're stronger than previous generations, but they crumble. In extra time, they crumble. And now Croatia's in the final. My goodness. Croatia are in the final. I'll make a prediction video later tonight.